I guess my name is Masenko. I've been trying to do content since I was like 10 years old, I guess. Just watching other YouTubers, like I guess Vanos and Sky Does Minecraft. But what got me into VR chat was I saw a TikTok clip of proximity chat and I was like, yo, that's funny as hell. I want to do that. And it just picked up from there.
So, how did you decide on your specific style of trolling? Did it evolve naturally, or was it something you planned from the start?
Um, Honestly, it's just how I talk with my in real life friends. Like I just talk shit or try to make people mad, you know? So it wasn't like I don't really go into things like trying to plan. I just go in and see whatever works.
So, what was your most successful video, and why do you think, that was the one that really hit it off?
Oh man. The I guess my biggest video is the man baby has a mental breakdown in VR chat. I don't know if you've seen that one or not, but
I think I did.
I actually really do not like that video. Like I thought I did really bad with the editing, but I just think it blew up just because how crazy that guy was. I mean, he was telling me he was a kingpin, kept calling me the hard R. I think he's like the epitome of degeneracy on VR chat, you know?
Yeah. So, have you ever encountered a moment so bizarre that you remember it to this day?
Hmm, that's a good question. Yeah, probably when I went to the furry world and I heard just a bunch of furries calling me the hard R, and they start group instances just to say the hard R. They said that verbatim, by the way. Like, it's in one of my videos. I think it's the racist behavior one.
I remember that video. And then you walk up to a different group of furries, and this guy says, I didn't hear any of that.
Nah, yeah. I didn't know you've seen that video.
Yeah, I do my research.
I appreciate that. But yeah, I think that's like one that really sticks with me, just because like it was just so bizarre, you know?
So, how do you balance the entertainment factor with the harassment or harmful? What's crossing the line for you?
Well, definitely calling people slurs is crossing the line, like, or like, calling them the hard R, like, I don't know. I don't want to. I guess I've never really thought about it. You know, I don't really want to be like truly offensive.
Hmm.
But I also do like to talk my shit.
So, is there a moment in your videos you felt like a situation kind of played out perfectly without you even having to say too many words?
Maybe in my most recent video, or that's a good question. I can't think of any off the top of my head, honestly.
Mm.
I feel like I kind of have to egg the interaction out to get somewhere.
So, what's your creative process like when it comes to editing and choosing which clips to include in your videos?
Creative process. So when it comes to editing, I just, cut clips down. I clear the dead air usually in between responses. It's just whatever feels funny to me, you know? And, if some people don't end up liking it, that's okay. I'm still gonna keep doing what I'm doing with it.
So, do you plan your trolling sessions ahead, or is it just on the moment? You just say something.
Yeah, no, it's just on the spot. Like just whatever pops into my head, I say. I really don't think before I speak, honestly.
So, what kind of feedback do you get from your audience, and how does that influence the content you create?
Well, I get mostly good feedback. People are just saying it's funny that they like my troll, I guess. Because I've spoken to other people in like Ergla server. People who join my server say they like my videos. It gives me a good feeling,
Hmm.
because like before I started posting VR chat, I had a random video like Rainbow Six Siege or the Backrooms games. It was they were getting views, but like how VR chat is.
Yeah. What about feedback from the people you've trolled? Has anybody commented to you and be like, "Hey, what you're doing is horrible. You're cringe."
Yes, actually. I think on my first VR chat video, let me see. Someone said, gotta give me a second to find it. Oh yeah, someone said this is such toxic content. They were calling me a bully.
Mm.
And you know what? I kind of agreed with them just because I didn't really know what I was looking for in VR chat. Like, it was my first time playing it, and I definitely was being a little asshole.
So, how do you feel about trolling people who pee, erotic roleplay.
Oh, yeah. If I see them, I'm trolling them because there is no reason to be ERPing in a 13 plus game, you know?
Mhm.
Like, even if it's like an 18 plus only world, like, what are you doing, bro? Lock in. You need to find some in real life, you know?
Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on age regression or the daycare worlds?
I've heard a lot of things people that age regress get it from trauma, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. And I guess that's me being like ignorant because I really don't want to look into it more.
Mhm.
It just doesn't make sense to me how you want to get on a video game to act and talk like a baby. Like I just feel like it's easy pickings. You know what I mean? Like if I see one of them, I'm gonna have to troll them.
Yeah. So, what do you feel about VRChat players with phantom touch?
That is actually insane to me. I think I've only experienced one person with that, and I like put my hand inside their head and then I got blocked instantly. I have no idea how someone can even. Do you know how that develops? I have no idea.
I recently did an interview, and one of the trollers were telling me that it kind of develops for if you're like an amputee, you have phantom touch. And I've heard of like
Mhm.
phantom pregnancies in real life though, but in VRChat, it's probably not likely.
I can get the amputee stuff. That 100 that makes sense to me. But in the game, I don't know.
So, how do you navigate with the presence of both minors and adults in VRChat? What do you think VRChat's age restrictions should be?
Honestly, I wish that game was 18 plus, but even if it was, there's gonna be minors on it. I think that's just how it is with any video game, like even GTA.
Mhm.
I don't. I feel like they should somehow be separated, like whether that's with like an ID verification or like I would say make separate games, but even then, I don't know. I don't like that adults and children can hang out with each other. It's just weird to me.
I agree. So, have you ever ran into issues with people taking your trolling the wrong way and not just like, oh, they're offended or they're mad at you, but they crash out so hard, you're like, I cannot put this on YouTube.
Maybe one, and he was just spamming the N word at me over and over again, and I was just like, all right, bro. Like there's just no content here. It's just him saying the N word, and like of course he has his little friends laughing in the back, but it's just I don't know. I don't find the stuff like that funny. I have yet to find something where it's like this cannot go on YouTube yet, though.
So, I have a category of questions called VR trolling drama, drama within VR trolling community. I don't know if you want to talk about that or if we can move on. Some people don't, and I understand that perfectly.
I guess you can ask. I'll see how I'm feeling about the question itself.
All right. There are a few questions, and if you want me to leave them out, if you answer them, then I'll do that. So,
Okay.
the VRChat community has its share of drama. What are your thoughts on the more controversial elements, like VRChat troller named Glass and other prominent figures?
Like, how do I feel about Glass as a person, or about just the drama in general?
Maybe both, if you want to talk about it.
The thing with Glass is I don't really want to talk shit about him just because that's not really like my thing.
Mhm.
But I will say he definitely gets in his feelings sometimes. Like some things get to him, as all people tend to do.
Yeah.
When like certain subjects are brought up. But the way he handles them, I just think is the wrong way. Like he could handle situations way better.
So, how do you feel about the idea of maybe content creators claiming they're playing as a character, but that's like an excuse for their behavior? Do you think that's a valid defense, in your opinion?
See, when I was told, like when Glass tells people to kill themselves or whatever, that like they take it too seriously. But I genuinely believe like that's like he was being a character. Like when he says you're being a moron over and over again, like I don't see that as like, oh my god, such a bad person.
So,
I've definitely spent more time with him than I guess some of the people he's talked shit to. So I guess it would be different because I do know him. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I can kind of see how other people can take him more seriously than I could, you know.
So, how do you think creators should address public accusations? Do you think they should do it at all, or?
I guess it would depend on the situation, like on everything that's been brought up recently, or I guess not recently, but like I don't know. I don't really see the point in anything being brought up. I feel like everything should be handled behind closed doors, and if some people just can't get along, then there's no reason to be like, hey, I'm not fucking with this guy because of this and that, unless they're a pedophile.
Yeah.
Then you can out them.
So, do you think there's a way to keep the VRChat trolling content drama free, or is that just a part of the culture?
I don't really know, to be honest. Like, I'm 4 months into this, you know. I talk with Komsaki like all the time. I know you talked to him earlier.
Mhm.
I mean, me and him shit talk each other, but it's never gotten to the point where there's drama or anything, you know. And the way it's seeming, it's like there's always going to be drama. Not even in just VR chat though, like between any YouTuber. And I guess it's part of just the YouTube culture. Or else, you know, why else would drama alert be a thing, you know?
Yeah. So virtual bars are super popular in VRChat. What do you think makes them really good for trolling?
Oh, that people get on there and pretend to be drunk,
Mm-hmm.
or they are really drunk and they just get mad at you for making fun of them for being drunk on a VR chat game. It's easy pickings. That's like the best way I can explain it. It's just so easy to make people mad. Drunk people, especially.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on VR families?
I don't get it at all. I think I've only found one person like that, where he's like, I have a VR chat son, and I don't really see the point in VR chat families. I don't really. Do you know what they're for? Because I really got no clue.
I'm just as clueless as you are. Maybe it's because you know, in real life maybe they don't have that connection, that familial connection, so they try to make one in VR chat. But I couldn't tell you.
I still find that weird though. Like, if you're a little kid in VR chat, like you have some random dude as your dad.
I mean, yeah, that's
That
definitely
doesn't make
weird,
sense.
especially if the ages are so off, you know.
No, on God.
So how do you feel about mute players? You know, those like they may be a guy, but they're like mute and they're like putting themselves on to other people, and they have a female avatar maybe.
I mean, the whole point of the game is to, you know, talk to people. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know what they're doing on VR chat. It actually, I mean, I guess you could type out your messages, but how do you even have fun on that game if you're mute, you know?
Yeah. So there's been, you know, a bit of a stir within the behavior of VR chat. You know, that's why it's so ripe for trolling. But what do you think is like an acceptable behavior in the game, not just for VR trollers, but for VR players in general? You know, stuff like homophobia, racism, sexism, all of that.
I experience all of that every single time I log into VR chat. And I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's just like any other game where people find racism or homophobic shit to be funny. There's not really much that I can do about it, you know? I can, I guess, put them on the internet, but that's pretty much all the power that I have, you know?
Yeah. So where do you see your content going in the future? Any new ideas or projects you might be working on?
That is a good question, actually. I was thinking about making a second channel and doing, I guess, kind of commentary, I guess, sort of. I'm still thinking about it. I'm still planning it all out, but I don't want to do VR chat forever, you know, because I really do like watching videos like Turkey Tom, and I used to watch Leafy's here all the time when I was in middle school, and I was thinking that I could do something like that, but without the racist, homophobic piece of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, I got something cooking up.
how has being a content creator for VR chat changed your personal life? Has it affected your relationships or how you view online communities at all?
My relationship, I would say being a YouTuber in general does take up a good amount of your time. It's definitely harder to be in a relationship, but my girlfriend, she understands, and I think I'm planning on getting a place with her soon, so it would be a lot easier for us, you know?
Mhm.
But it is definitely hard to try and balance them out, because with YouTube, I feel like consistency is like the main thing. And the way that has been turning out for me is, let's say I haven't uploaded in a week. When I upload the following week, the views aren't they don't match up to the other videos. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So do you ever get recognized in VRChat?
Not really. Well, maybe like once or twice. But I usually go by like different names. Like I have Pusock or Torta Pounder or
Balls
there was another
enjoyer.
one I had. Yeah, I had Balls Lover, yeah.
So do you ever
And
get like
I'm fine with like
misrecognized?
you know what, bro? I was in a Little's world and someone was like, "Are you Father Lore?" And I
Wow.
thought they were just like I thought they were just a fan of his. I was like, "Nah, but I know him. Like that's a good friend." They're like, "Oh, okay, thanks." And then they kicked me. So,
Wow, I
and
just
then
interviewed him too. That's crazy.
yeah, shout out Father Lore. Love that little guy. I think yesterday or last night, I told this girl I was Ergla, and she was like, "Weren't you banned on VRChat? Is this ban evasion?" I was like, "All right, my bad, bro. I'm not Ergla," and then I got kicked. These people take this game too seriously.
So what advice would you want to give to someone who wants to start creating VRChat trolling content, you know?
I would say if you're thinking about it, just do it. There's nothing stopping you from doing it. And well, I gotta actually think about this because I don't want to sound like literally anybody can do this. Like no matter what situation you're in, if you have a computer and it can run even VRChat, you can do it. It might not, pick up at first, but I promise you, you'll get somewhere. Just don't be racist or homophobic or a pedophile.
All right, so thank you for taking the time out of your day to chat with me. Is there anything else you would like to share to your audience personally?
To my audience personally,
Mm-hmm.
I love and appreciate every single one of them. I used to say that in the beginning of all my videos, and I kind of stopped with the intros, but I really do appreciate every single one of them. It honestly changed my life. I'm not a hot dog.